up guys, welcome to angelasavalon's YouTube channel. I'm Angela. Subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and do comment down below at the end of the video, and do watch until the end of the video. So yeah, so this video is gonna be about Venus in Aquarius. And I want to do this video about this particular placement because I share this placement, and I don't know, I wasn't sure about what to make this video about, but I wanted to make it about I was actually gonna make the video maybe about something else. I think later I'm gonna do that, but currently I'm just gonna, anyways, it's about Venus in Aquarius. And actually I already filmed a Venus in Aquarius video, but I couldn't but I had trouble like posting it because I had trouble posting it because my phone was like running low on storage or something, and I had to like kind of like edit it because I filmed it like not like one video all at once, you know, so I had to edit it, but then it won't let me post it because I didn't have. Long story short, I am gonna post the previous one that I made about this placement, but for now I'm just gonna make this one because I kind of feel like they need to talk about it. I think it's maybe because I feel like ranting about it because I have this placement, but yeah. So anyways, Venus in Aquarius. Okay, so what is Venus? Venus is how you deal with society, it's how you operate in all kinds of relationships. It's the way you like to make money and your fashion sense. And Aquarius is fixed earth sign that is ruled the predominant ruler is Uranus, and the co-ruler is Saturn. I'm sorry guys, I'm a bit slow because I feel like my brain's still trying to wake up. But yeah. But yeah, so Aquarius is ruled mostly by Uranus, but it's also co-ruled by Saturn. Like I mentioned in all of my other Aquarius videos, Aquarius is ruled also by Saturn. Saturn is just co-ruling it, you know. It's that additional, it's that little addition to what makes Aquarius what it is. Okay, I don't care what the other channels are saying. Yes, it is co-ruled by Saturn. And so when Venus is here, I'm not going to lie, I struggle, you guys, or maybe I want to say I used to struggle, but because Venus is how you deal with all kinds of relationships, right? Not just romantic. I think I still do struggle. So, because it's how Venus is basically how you are in a social setting. And I'm not going to lie. If you're surrounded, let's say, by people, if you're in a social setting where most people in that setting are very expressive, or maybe, you know, fiery or extroverted, you might not feel the most comfortable, because if you have Venus in Aquarius, I mean, because Aquarius is not very expressive. I want to say as far as body language is concerned, they're not expressive at all. Well, you want to look at where Mars is placed, but unless they have some really strong like Aries energy or Leo energy, like the opposite of Aquarius is Leo, or unless they're Sagittarius, unless they got some fire in their chart. Yeah, unless they got some fire energy going on, they're not gonna be very much expressive at all. And like I said, so if they're in a social setting when most people surrounding them are very expressive, they might not feel comfortable in the slightest. It might them very it might make the Venus in Aquarius person feel very uneasy, because Aquarius, they're not living in their body. Venus in Aquarius, they're living in their mind. They operate intellectually. Like these people are very expressive when it comes to their opinion. That's like the only place where they're actually very much expressive and passionate. Their opinions, but because it's very, being very expressive in your opinions is like a very logical thing. And because the Aquarius operates so much by logic, they might lack, they're not really, as at least their body language, it's not very passionate. It lacks heat, it's not full of heat, it's not full of passion. That's why their body language might seem pretty, cool-headed and detached. And it's only detached because they don't feel the need to have a crazy body language, being silly too much. That might not appeal to them. They might be if they have like Gemini placements, but it's only going to happen if they are really feeling. If they have like Moon in Gemini like me, they might get expressive when they're telling a joke, but they need to, or they're talking about something they're passionate about, but they need to really get comfortable to do that. And even then, it's you'll notice that it's even when they are expressive and passionate, then it's only when they're making jokes, it's only like it's still kind of like a mental level, that it's not, because if it turns out to be something what I'm saying is that they might not be the kinds of people, even if they have Moon in Gemini and they're very expressive and telling jokes. If they have Venus in Aquarius, they might not be like really. They might not be the kinds of people that like to physical touch too much. Like maybe like hugging might not come instinctually to them. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, yeah. So. But overall, let's say that they don't have Moon in, like, let's say that they don't have, if they have their Moon, regardless of the Moon placements, it's gonna be shown anyways, it's gonna be shown anyways, but, so yeah, they're not really, their body language is never gonna go too crazy, and, they're very cool-headed, but I want to say, especially if the Moon is like in a very stable sign, it might even get worse for them, because I feel like me personally having my Moon in Gemini really helps me, but to be more flexible. But I think if I had like a Moon in Capricorn, because I have already a Capricorn stellium, so if my Moon was also in there, I think I would have a much harder time, and it's already hard. So like I already have enough instances that I realize that the reason why it's not too hard for me is that I have placements in my chart that really help me to navigate this energy better, because my Venus is also conjuncting Uranus, so it's like multiplies the Moon Venus in Aquarius that already exists. Yeah, so yeah, Aquarius is very Yeah, like I mentioned in my Mars and Aquarius video, they're not very they might not like to they might not like to get too affectionate. It's almost like their affection goes to is limited. And it's not that these people are like anti-affection, even though they might seem like that. They might even feel like sometimes they might even feel sometimes like they are anti-affection, but it's not, or anti-loving, right? But really, it's not that it's not so much that they are anti these things. It's just that those instincts and impulses do not really exist within them. It's like they don't. It's like those instincts that other people have that do have that. They do not carry Aquarius energy. Those impulses and instincts are like permanent, like permanent. I don't know how to say this word. Those bottom line, those instincts are that makes you very affectionate towards someone. They're tuned off on a permanent level with Venus in Aquarius here, as well as Mars in Aquarius. Yeah, they're not very, and it can get uncomfortable for them. It can get really uncomfortable, because what's going to happen is that what's more likely to happen is that they might attract people who are the opposite of that, and they might feel very uncomfortable, and they it's almost like something as simple as, like, let's say she's a woman, right, with a Venus in Aquarius woman. Let's say that woman just goes to to babysit the baby's neighbor next door, okay? Because Venus is your approach to social settings in general. It's all kinds of relationships. I cannot stress it enough. They are friendly, and oh my god, my eye is like red or something. I think in this. I think I need to put more eye drops in there. But anyways, they might get so when you first meet them, they are very where I was going with that neighbor story is that when you first meet a Venus in Aquarius, they are going to be very friendly, because these people are friendly for the most part. They are very humanitarian, so that humanitarian nature, it's inclined in their friendly nature as well. So they are pretty friendly when you meet them. It's not that they are unfriendly, but the thing is, they're not very, because they're so not expressive. It's like you might have, if you deal with them and you do not carry Aquarius energy within you, you might not understand them. You might feel like they're sending you mixed signals, you know what I'm saying? Because you'll be like, on one hand, they are very nice to me, but on the other hand, they're so detached. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of related, because they're the kinds of people that might help you if you need help, but they don't actually know how to make you feel loved. You know what I'm saying? So if they love you, they will help you with things, or give you advice when you need it, but they don't act, because they operate on such a mental level. They might not actually, like, if you're the kind of person that needs a lot of physical affection to feel loved, you might feel unloved by them. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, in order to deal with them, the people that are gonna deal with them best are gonna be people who carry heavy air energy, like Gemini, Aquarius, even Libra. Yeah, otherwise it's gonna be a bit difficult. Or unless Capricorn, because they're kind of related, Saturn. But otherwise it might be a bit difficult because it's, and you really can, and I really can't blame the, like, as a Venus in Aquarius, I don't blame people who feel uncomfortable around Aquarius energy, because it can really get that way. And you know what the thing is, because I'm gonna get, if you're interested in the romantic stuff and the romantic part of this placement. So yeah, but so here's the thing, even though they are very detached and they value intellectual compatibility, they value being intellectually compatible with someone above all. Like, their ideal partner would be someone who shares their ideas, their philosophies, who they have common ground with, mentally and intellectually speaking. I'm not going to lie, it's kind of like a demisexual placement for Venus. Those people do operate on a demisexual level, like even like, demisexual, sapisexual level here with Venus. And they so the thing is, they might, when they crave, okay, so when these people think about the kind of relationship they want, they think about what I just said, right? Someone who they're intellectually compatible with, because they're attracted intellectually to people, not sexually. They're intellectually attracted to someone. So when they think about like wanting to be in a relationship, because that does happen, just because they're detached does not mean that they don't want to be in a relationship. But the thing is, because they require so much intellectual common ground, and that's what makes them tick with someone, especially if it's like a heterosexual relationship. Like, if she's a heterosexual woman, I'm not going to lie, it might not be the most convenient placement for a heterosexual woman, because she's gonna want a relationship, but yet any romantic setting she's actually gonna get in gonna make her very uncomfortable. Why? Because, like I said, like, they operate on an intellectual level, but but romance is not intellectual. Romance is very sensual. Okay, it's more about feelings and sensuality. It's not about the brain. But these people are attracted more, like the heterosexual females with this placement, they're attracted more. Well, first of all, you're attracted to someone physically, right? I'm not saying that they're because obviously, all human beings, you are attracted to someone physically. But the thing is, the difference between a heterosexual female with this placement and compared to other Venus placements is that she's like, let's say she sees this guy, right? This young man, let's say she's very attracted to him, but when she gets to talk with him, it's very boring to her. Let's say that this guy has nothing to say or nothing interesting to say, he's not funny, it doesn't stimulate her in any way, shape or form. She's not gonna want to continue to see him, even though she finds him physically very attractive. Does that make sense? Because because this is what I'm saying. They do have these instincts, obviously, as all human beings. Venus in Aquarius has these instincts, obviously, like, they're first attracted to someone physically, but the thing is, if they realize that the person they're attracted to physically is not mentally stimulating to them, they're going to be turned off. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like it's irrelevant if it's actually attractive to them or not physically, because if it's not attractive to them mentally, they're going to be it's going to wear off eventually. And unlike other Venus placements, because other Venus placements, like females with other Venus placements, they might realize like if that a guy is like boring or stupid, but they don't have a problem to go with that guy anyways. You know, they don't have a problem to like spend like, I want to say like spend the night or just go like be with that guy anyways. And this not even, you know, if they realize it's not very serious, and you know what I'm saying. But the Venus in Aquarius is not gonna do that, because even if they don't mind like a short-term relationship, that short-term relationship has to happen with someone that is stimulating to them. You know what I'm saying? That's why Aquarius is very complex. That's why every personal planet that falls into Aquarius is very complex, because these people are not so easily understood. Like they're very, you know, there is this one astrologist in here that said that that Aquarius is an enigma to themselves, because in her theory Aquarius is ruled by space, which I agree with this kind of theory as someone who carries this energy. But the point is that as a Venus in Aquarius, I can, and as a heavy Uranian person, I can confirm, yeah. It's almost like because it's Aquarius energy. It's like it's almost like, because it's the opposite of Leo. Leo is this very self-aware person who is Leo rules self-expression. Because Aquarius is the opposite. Aquarius is like, it's like the individual within the collective, and that's why they have like, they might, even when they think they know themselves, you know, they might it sounds like they will never know themselves to the core, because it sounds like they see themselves from the outside looking in. You know what I'm saying? You know what a good example would be? You know the movie The Great Gatsby? If you watched The Great Gatsby, you know, with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire, there's this one scene when Tobey Maguire's character Nick, that's his name, he has this like, and there's like the movie has a voiceover of him, right? And there's this one scene that is looking from it's like watching him, is like looking out the window and sees himself, and he says like from within, like watching from within and without, something like that. And that's very Venus in Aquarius. And any personal, almost all the personal planets in Aquarius are also gonna be that way. They all share that in common. You know, Mars, Moon, and Venus in Aquarius have that in common. Because this detachment that they carry, what you have to understand is that they are detached to themselves too. Like that's why they're such an enigma to themselves, because it's almost like we don't see ourselves clearly because we are so detached from our own body. You know what I'm saying? Via Venus in Aquarius, me. Yeah. So and you know what the irony is? Because like I mentioned in all my other Aquarius video, the biggest irony with this placement, with Aquarius placements, is that, because like I mentioned in my other Aquarius videos, Aquarius rules the future. Aquarius is a very progressive sign, and it rules the future. And it's ironic, because even though you would think that in this new age that we live in, it's gonna be convenient to have, especially for heterosexual men and women, to have displacement, and yet it's still not convenient. And why? Because like I said, romance is not ruled by logic. You know, logic is not what makes romance. You know what I mean? And that's why it's almost like no matter what time in the future these people are gonna live, they're still gonna struggle, because it's never going to change. It's almost like it's never going to change. And there are some, there are channels out there that say that Venus in Aquarius is like might be into polygamy and stuff, and I'm not denying. I mean, it's not the case for me personally, but it might be for others. If other things in their chart support, like I have heavy Capricorn energy, so it's Capricorn doesn't really do that. But if they have like heavy Gemini energy, they might be into like polygamy and non-monogamy and all that. But here's the thing: it comes from their the individual within the collective place, and even then, they might value being intellectually compatible with someone still. You know what I'm saying? But they might just rather, like, let's say, they just might share that intellectual connection with multiple people, and that's, where the polygamy and polyamory comes into place. You know what I'm saying? So even when they do that, it comes from a mental place, because there are placements like Sagittarius, they might be into polygamy, but for them it's all about having fun. All they care about is fun. They're very fiery, adventurous. Aquarius is not like that. If they're seeing multiple people, it's because they genuinely, on some intellectual level, connected, but because they find it interesting to be with multiple people, See, that's it. It's very complex, because even things that you would think that they're doing are kind of like casual, it's not. It might be, but it doesn't come from the same place of casuality that it might come from to other people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because these people, they're you know what, I'm gonna finish the video with that. I'm not saying that these people can never enjoy. I'm not saying they can never have fun. But what you gotta realize is that the things that are interesting, though, and the things that make them feel like they're having fun have to be something to do with their brain. It has to be something that makes them think. I'm telling you, it's funny, because you know how in my Venus in Aries video, I kind of like I did not fail to mention that it's detrimental, right? Venus in Aries is detriment, and as much as I agree with that, still I can't help but sometimes feel like having Venus in Aquarius is even more in detriment, because it's not classically in detriment. Like in classic astrology, it's not in detriment, but personally, as a female living with this, as a heterosexual female, I cannot help but feel that it puts me in some sort of detriment when it comes to, like, how I deal with guys and dating. Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, it's complex. It's complex, and it's I might make a part 2, because this video is almost 30 minutes. And see, like, previously I made a Venus in Capricorn video, and it didn't take me so long to really mention all the essential elements that make a Venus in Capricorn. But it takes me more time for this placement, not only because I felt like ranting, but also because it's very complex. There's so much to the Venus in Aquarius, because they're so complex. And you would think that they're not much into them, but it's only because you really have to dig to the core, Yeah, this is it takes a lot of psychological analyzing and psychoanalyzing to really understand those people. Like, even myself, I carry this placement, and I still feel like I have to psychoanalyze. Like, I have to really do all this, and really mention detail by detail. Like, as I do this video, I feel like I'm analyzing this placement, even though I have it, and I don't do this as much with some of the other placements, because It is complex. It is complex. I think I'm gonna make a part 2 because there are all the other elements that I haven't mentioned. Okay, so please like this video, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you aren't subscribed already, and do donate to one of the links down below, or at least get a reading for me, since I'm very affordable and I do offer discounts. Just email me for one if you want a discount for a reading. And yeah, and if you're not gonna do any of those things, then at least subscribe and like the video and comment. At least do that for the channel if you don't want to get a reading or donate. Okay.